If knowledge is power, knowing what we don't know is wisdom. We learn more from people who challenge our thought process than those who affirm our conclusions. Strong leaders engage their critics and make themselves stronger. Weak leaders silence their critics and make themselves weaker. This reaction isn't limited to people in power. Although we might be on board with the principle, in practice we often miss out on the value of a challenge network. We listen to views that make us feel good, instead of ideas that make us think hard. Thinking like a scientist involves more than just reacting with an open mind. It means being actively open-minded. It requires searching for reasons why we might be wrong, not for reasons why we must be right, and revising our views based on what we learn. We favor the comfort of conviction over the discomfort of doubt. A mark of lifelong learners is recognizing that they can learn something from everyone they meet. How do you know? It's a question we need to ask more often, both of ourselves and of others. The power lies in its frankness. It's non-judgmental. A straightforward expression of doubt and curiosity that doesn't put people on the defensive. Part of the problem is cognitive laziness. Some psychologists point out that we're mental misers. We often prefer the ease of hanging on to old views over the difficulty of grappling with new ones. Questioning ourselves makes the world more unpredictable. It requires us to admit that the facts may have changed, that what was once right may now be wrong. Reconsidering something we believe deeply can threaten our identities, making it feel as if we're losing a part of ourselves. The less intelligent we are in a particular domain, the more we seem to overestimate our actual intelligence in that domain. It's a sign of wisdom to avoid believing every thought that enters your mind. It's a mark of emotional intelligence to avoid internalizing every feeling that enters your heart. Arrogance is ignorance plus conviction. Intelligence is traditionally viewed as the ability to think and learn. Yet in a turbulent world, there's another set of cognitive skills that might matter more. The ability to rethink and unlearn. We laugh at people who still use Windows 95, yet we still cling to opinions that we formed in 1995. We all have blind spots in our knowledge and opinions. The bad news is that they can leave us blind to our blindness, which gives us false confidence in our judgment and prevents us from rethinking. The good news is that with the right kind of confidence, we can learn to see ourselves more clearly and update our views. Progress is impossible without change, and those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. After all, the purpose of learning isn't to affirm our beliefs, it's to evolve our beliefs. When you are wrong, it's not something to be depressed about. Say, hey, I discovered something. Who you are should be a question of what you value, not what you believe. Values are your core principles in life. They might be excellence and generosity, freedom and fairness, or security and integrity. People often become attached to best practices. The risk is that once we've declared a routine the best, it becomes frozen in time. Listening, is a way of offering others our scarcest, most precious gift, our attention. Once we've demonstrated that we care about them and their goals, they're more willing to listen to us. Confirmation bias. Seeing what we expect to see. The other is desirability bias. Seeing what we want to see. Many communicators try to make themselves look smart. Great listeners are more interested in making their audiences feel smart. Once we hear the story and accept it as true, we rarely bother to question it. Thinking again can help you generate new solutions to old problems and revisit old solutions to new problems. It's a path to learning more from the people around you and living with fewer regrets. A hallmark of wisdom is knowing when it's time to abandon some of your most treasured tools and some of the most cherished parts of your identity. Rethinking is a skill set, but it's also a mindset. We already have many of the mental tools we need. We just have to remember to get them out of the shed and remove the rust. The curse of knowledge is that it closes our minds to what we don't know. Good judgment depends on having the skill and the will to open our minds. We all have blind spots in our knowledge and opinions. The bad news is that they can leave us blind to our blindness, which gives us false confidence in our judgment and prevents us from rethinking. The good news is that with the right kind of confidence, we can learn to see ourselves more clearly and update our view. Confidence is a measure of how much you believe in yourself. Arrogance leaves us blind to our weaknesses. Humility is a reflective lens. It helps us see them clearly. Confident humility is a corrective lens. It enables us to overcome those weaknesses. Good teachers introduce new thoughts, but great teachers introduce new ways of thinking. Every time we encounter new information, we have a choice. We can attach our opinions to our identities and stand our ground in the stubbornness of preaching and prosecuting, or we can operate more like scientists, defining ourselves as people committed to the pursuit of truth, even if it means proving our own views wrong. Collecting a teacher's knowledge may help us solve the challenges of the day, but understanding how a teacher thinks can help us navigate the challenges of a lifetime. Ultimately, education is more than the information we accumulate in our heads. It's the habits we develop as we keep revising our drafts and the skills we build to keep learning. We don't know how time and circumstances will change what we want and even who we want to be, and locking our life GPS onto a single target can give us the right directions to the wrong destination. Choosing a career isn't like finding a soulmate. It's possible that your ideal job hasn't even been invented yet. When we pursue happiness, we often start by changing our surroundings. We expect to find bliss in a warmer climate or a friendlier dorm, but any joy that those choices bring about is typically temporary. It takes humility to reconsider our past commitments, doubt to question our present decisions, and curiosity to reimagine our future plans. What we discover along the way can free us from the shackles of our familiar surroundings and our former selves. When it comes to careers, instead of searching for the job where we'll be happiest, we might be better off pursuing the job where we expect to learn and contribute the most. Our identities are open systems, and so are our lives. We don't have to stay tethered to old images of where we want to go or who we want to be. The simplest way to start rethinking our options is to question what we do daily. Psychologists find that passions are often developed, not discovered. Our happiness often depends more on what we do than where we are. It's our actions, not our surroundings, that bring us meaning and belonging. We don't have to upend our entire paths to rethink some of our plan. At work and in life, the best we can do is plan for what we want to learn and contribute over the next year or two, and stay open to what might come next. Interest doesn't always lead to effort and skill. Sometimes it follows them. By investing in learning and problem-solving, we can develop our passions and build the skills necessary to do the work and lead the lives we find worthwhile. We can all improve at thinking again. Whatever conclusion we reach, I think the world would be a better place if everyone put on scientist goggles a little more often. Rethinking liberates us to do more than update our knowledge and opinions. It's a tool for leading a more fulfilling life.